What's going on, guys? It's Boxing Lowdown and I'm back here with another video. Now, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Feel free to drop a comment if you like and I'll happily get back to you. Now, Mythical Mondays, week 2. Well, I'll say week 2, but it's like, for those that follow me on social media, Instagram or Twitter, you'll know that I've been doing this pretty much every week. But on YouTube, I'm calling it week 2 because I did try it out at the beginning when I first started this channel, but I'm bringing it back to YouTube again just for the fact that, you know, it's popular on Twitter and Instagram, and I think why not? You know, as this channel continues to grow, I think it'd be good to bring this feature back. So yeah, last week I did Danny Garcia against Timothy Bradley. That received a lot of good feedback. For those that haven't watched the video, go and check that out. It's still up on there, and I gave my thoughts and opinions on that fight, and there was some very good comments and opinions on that fight as well. So let's get on to this week. Now, I got a DM on my Instagram and it was from a follower who I engage with quite a bit, and he said to me, you know, why don't you do this fight for Mythical Mondays next week? And it was George Groves against Caleb Plant. Now, this is actually a very good fight, man. It wasn't one that I had in mind or one that I was planning to do, but this is the beauty of having like people sending you recommendations, because fights that you might not think about, they've thought about and they want to get your opinion on it. So always welcome any suggestions or any opinions for, you know, future Mythical Monday videos. But let's get on to this fight, man, without delay. George Groves and Caleb Plant. Very good fight, this in my opinion, man. George Groves recently retired, former world champion, had a very, very good career, very good amateur career and pro career. George Groves, he was one of the top super middleweights of you know, for many years. And for those of us here in the UK, that's a very good honour, considering how rich and how deeply talented the super middleweight division has been over the years. I mean, just look at some of the fighters that we've had at super middleweight. Joe Calzaghe, Carl Froch, James DeGale, Nigel Benn, Chris Eubank. George Groves is one of them as well. Callum Smith right now. That we've had a lot of very good fighters at super middleweight, man. Steve Collins, if we want to go to Ireland, I mean, he's obviously been a very good super middleweight in his time. So a very deeply talented division over here on these shores, and George Groves' name can be mentioned up there as well. Now, George Groves against Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant is, you know, I like watching him. He's one of my favorite fighters to watch right now. I mean, he's very slick, has a great back foot game. He's not a hard puncher really, you know, but he's very fluid. You know, he has a great back foot game and, you know, very slick. He's being put up there as an opponent for Canelo in the future. And if Canelo is able to get past Anthony Yildirim and Billy Joe Saunders, then, you know, Caleb Plant will be the fighter that they're looking at next. So yeah, very interesting, this type of matchup really, because of George Groves' 4 losses that he's had in his career. He had the 2 to Carl Froch. One of them was very controversial, but he had the 2 to Carl Froch. He had 1 to Badu Jack on a split, or was a majority decision, I think it was. And he also had the 1 to Callum Smith at the end of his career. None of those fighters fight particularly like Caleb Plant. None of them have the sort of style that he does, but especially Carl Froch, right? You know, so yeah. It would be a different style altogether for George Groves to deal with. I mean, I know he's fought slick fighters in his career before. He beat James DeGale, and James DeGale can be very slick when he wants to be, but, you know, he's not like a Caleb Plant really, because James DeGale can mix it up as well. You know, he's known for getting deep in the trenches when he wants to, whereas Caleb Plant, I could see him boxing a disciplined back game for the whole fight. And I'd be curious to know how George Groves would get on with that, man. I think that'd be a very interesting fight. Now, Caleb Plant wouldn't have the power to hurt him, really. He's not a particularly hard puncher, whereas George Groves has the power to hurt Caleb Plant. Now, would he get frustrated or would he be able to get to him? George Groves, like I said, is a very good boxer himself. He has a very good jab, like I said. And like I said, he knows when to go in for the kill. So this is a very good matchup, man. But I think that Caleb Plant, for me, there's more to come from him. I think right now he's looking very good. He's undefeated. He completed a shutout over Caleb Truax last weekend. You know, we all thought he was going to win that pretty much, but, you know, he pitched the shutout, didn't really do anything wrong despite hurting his hand in the 4th round, so to speak. But for me, I just think that this is a bit too early for me to pick Caleb Plant over George Groves. I think Caleb Plant, there's more to come from him. I think that he's a quality fighter. But right now, I'd have to favour George Groves slightly based on the experience, based on who he's fought. And like I said, this is a prime for prime. So I think I'd pick George Groves right now because I've seen him do more at the top level compared to Caleb Plant. Maybe in a couple of years, that prediction might change. But I think stylistically, it's a very good matchup. But I'm just going to edge experience here, and I'm just going to go for George Groves over Caleb Plant. But like I said, very good fight, man. Very interesting one. And I'm curious to hear your take on it, man. So drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about this fight. Who have you got winning it and why? Do you have George Groves for the experience, or do you think that Caleb Plant, his style would have been all wrong for him? Do you think that he'd be able to frustrate Groves over 12 rounds and, you know, not get involved and, you know, maybe allow George Groves to swing and miss quite wildly? I mean, there are instances where George Groves has gone for it, and, you know, he has been a bit careless in the ring sometimes, but overall, he's just a very good boxer, man, with sound fundamentals. And, you know, he's been very good throughout his whole career. So, interesting fight. I'd like to hear your take on it. I'm going George Groves on a decision, but let me know your thoughts about it in the comment section below, guys. I'll catch you on the next video.